that franchise has evolved so much. And then the last game, I was pretty disappointed in. The last Wolfenstein.
Was that 2?
I don't know if it was 2 or 3.
All right, we are live.
All right. Are you going to keep us up to date on the NIT score?
If you want me to, I can. No problem.
I mean, we've got a lot of new Hoosier fans watching, so it's important.
Absolutely.
Look how good that lighting looks.
It does look live now. Sharing on the Facebook. Dakota, are you doing the same?
Nope.
What? Why not, man?
You should
Come
share
on.
it afterwards.
You don't want to get the live people jumping in? Crazy talk. you give me the finger and we're good to go.
We've been good.
Oh, man.
I told you we're live.
Welcome to the Ball Soccer Liberty Podcast. This is episode number 106 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell. Today I'm joined by co-host Dakota Davis.
Today's episode features Miss Betsy Mills. This is Betsy's second time on the podcast. This time is her first time, not as a candidate for public office. We will be talking to Betsy about mine and Jeremiah's time at the Libertarian Party State Convention in Fort Wayne this year. Then we will be talking to Betsy about everything that she's done in the past year. The Lugar Series, going to the State House and representing Henry County, talking about Senate Bill number 535, talking about her involvement in the America's Future Foundation, the Jail Committee, Chamber of Commerce for Middletown, and then at the very end, we are going to talk a little bit about the future of Memorial Park. So make sure you stick around to the very end to hear about that.
All right, this show is going to be about our lives in rural Indiana. As always, we promise our episodes are going to be a fun and an easy listen. As I was taking notes, I realized it was my turn to talk again. I did make a note to say we're using my laptop today, Dakota, so please don't touch the screen and try to pinch and zoom because it doesn't work.
I just tried to do that. Not a touch screen.
Saw it happen. So if you are a Patreon member, you just got a little bit of bonus content with us talking about the behind the scenes of the Libertarian State Convention and some stories from Fort Wayne. We do want to thank Christopher Bilbrey, Brant Spicer, Christy Avery, Jonathan Phillips, Craig DaCosta for contributing at a level that gets you noticed on the big show. I think that's $50 a month.
$50 or more, yes.
Yeah, very much a thank you.
Christopher Bilbrey is our highest.
He's at the front of the line for a reason, I see.
And then,
Brant,
of course,
Christy, Jonathan, Craig, you could jump up there, but you gotta buy your spot at the front. Although Craig, you're always gonna have a place in our hearts, no doubt.
Absolutely, he will.
The also want to mention the Amazon wish list. Betsy, whenever you first got here, you said, I heard you guys got a on-air sign off of the Amazon wish list, and I said, I didn't know that.
Hell if we know.
But now that I do know, I know who it's from. So thank you, Betsy, very much for the neon on-air sign. We've been talking about that on the front of the show for so long, how we need an indicator light whenever Chris actually presses the record button. So whenever that comes in, I'll work some magic and get it wired up right to a button on your desk. All right.
I'm very happy to contribute. You guys do an amazing job of getting the word out on local candidates, on local issues. As someone in the county who's trying to pay attention to local issues, I really appreciate that. So it's my tiny bit of contribution. I also didn't do it for glory, but thank you for the things. So.
Well, you have to suffer through us BSing our way through all the stuff too. So it's we forgive you.
Yeah, seriously, greatly appreciate that. Always appreciate it when people buy things for us from the Amazon wish list. On there right now, we have some studio headphones that are on there. Much like the ones that I have, I think they're a little bit of a different model. They don't have like the soft velvet on the ear.
Do they have any of their air conditioned? Because I hate your headphones. They're terrible.
The other ones, they won't. I thought of you. They won't have this warm like blanket like surface.
That's good.
So have those on there, and then we also have new camera equipment that will help us just do a better job of producing the live stream and the YouTube videos that we put out. We'll be able to do all kinds of things. It's going to be a 3-camera setup. Chris Guffey over there will be able to throw graphics on the bottom of the screen.
Like, pew, pew.
Yeah,
Aren't you ready for
things.
more jobs?
Man, you guys just keep piling it on.
And then one of the other big things that we could do with the new camera setup is anytime we have a Skype caller, we could throw their video onto our live stream video, and you could see their faces as well.
Now we're going to have to require our Skype callers at least have a shirt on. We don't care if they have pants on, but now they're going to have to put on a shirt to call in.
Yes.
Is there a gender requirement there?
You know what?
All of them would have to have a shirt. I don't know. It's a fine line, Betsy. I don't want to get myself in trouble with the Facebook police.
Let's keep it a class act.
yeah,
around
Yeah,
here.
I mean,
let's do that.
I don't
This is
care what
Henry
your
County.
gender is. If you're on Skype, pants aren't required, but the shirt, yeah.
Shirt
Yeah,
is
let's say
definitely
yeah.
required. Unless your pants are in camera shot, then they are also required.
Well, then we'll blame Guffey for producing it wrong. He could shoot it above the head.
Hey.
And if you don't want to do either one of those things, you say, I don't want to buy any of the camera equipment because it's too expensive. I don't want to get on Patreon. There are other ways you can support us. Most notably would be the clothing stores that we have. We have 3 clothing stores on T-Chip.
We're probably the last clothing store left in town because I read today in the Courier Times that we're losing the one. It's closing forever.
Are we really?
Goodies is going away.
No,
It's reopening
not.
as something
They're
else, but it's gone.
Goodies isn't the only.
Well, we're
clothing
it.
store
We're the
that
only
we have.
store
We
in
have
town.
Unique.
You have to wear
We have
Boss Hog
Unique.
stuff.
Unique is moving downtown right there by 1400 Plaza.
You are
right.
ruining the commercial.
They're-
You're ruining it.
Unique is
Killing
going
it.
to be joining us on the Newcastle Main Street website.
Very
So
cool.
That's nice. But we do have the clothing stores, tchip.com/BHOL1, BHOL2, BHOL3. Number 3 are the sweatshirts that have the slogan on the back that says Local Stories, National Impact, in case you're wondering. Those are my favorite ones. So, all right, Betsy, let's talk about you. Or actually, no, we're going to talk about us.
No, let's talk about it some more.
Hey,
I
you
got
guys
out
are
of
fun.
place
Let's
in
do
my
it.
notes.
I love me some me. So, we went to Fort Wayne.
We did. We went to Fort Wayne this weekend for the 2019 Libertarian Party State Convention. It was a great time. Great time. You mentioned on the Patreon portion that we brought back some awards. Jamie Owens, who is the Liberty Township trustee, won the Susan Bell Office Holder of the Year award. Jamie has done a great job. She's very, very deserving of that award. She's put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into making sure that she can do the very best job that she can do. So it was really, really nice to see her be honored and recognized for that hard work. And then Henry County won the Bill Bean County Affiliate of the Year Award. Chris, you're going to want to zoom in on this. I brought the award with us, but we're going to go see landlord Scott Frost, and we're going to have him.
Going to get it put up front, eh?
Yeah, we're going to have this matted and framed and put up in the Libertarian Party headquarters. But what's really cool about this award that we won is that this is the first time that this award has ever been given out. Last year we didn't have this award, and then no one knew that it was going to happen. No one said that we had been nominated for anything. It came as a total surprise at the award ceremony. It was awesome. None of us expected it. In fact, I didn't even expect it whenever he said that they had a county affiliate award. I was standing in the very back of the room.
Said, I guess Marion
drinking
County's going to
gin.
win something else, huh?
But it's named after Bill Bean, who's a great member of the Libertarian Party. He was the chairman of Marion County, Indiana. He did a lot of good work over there. Unfortunately, we lost him last year. So having an award for the very first time named after as great of a person as Bill is a huge honor for the county.
Yeah, Bill meant an awful lot to us, and yeah, there were a lot of tears and eyes. So it was really neat to be a part of that, and hopefully we can do it again next year. We're not done. Got some campaigns to run and big things to do. So
For sure, that's what I told Micah, our competition with
our nemesis from
with-
Knox County.
with Knox County. Yeah,
You guys should be really proud. That's awesome, and I say that as a Republican in the county who's very active. But I'm delighted to see the action in the Libertarian Party in Henry County, and you guys should be really honored and proud. And I'm proud of you, just as someone who's observed you, and I appreciate people getting involved in the process. So just in a heartfelt way, congratulations. You definitely deserve it.
We
Thank
try
you,
to run
Betsy.
very professional campaigns and do
You
the things
do.
that political parties need to do.
Yeah.
We have fun, obviously. There's no way in the world we could spend the amount of time we do doing this junk if we didn't have fun and we weren't making making jokes along the way. But we take the work seriously, and we really do care. So
Voters deserve good candidates,
Yep.
and you guys put forth good candidates, and I am a big fan of that. And obviously, Team Elephant here, but I'm proud of your efforts. So
Speaking
well
of
done.
good candidates, producer Chris Guffey in the studio right
Yeah.
now. He's running for City Council Ward 3, right?
That is correct.
so
Tell me-
far,
tell me-
how many Republicans are running in your race?
0.
Oh, so it's safe for them to play along.
It is.
They have the Grand Elephant's blessing.
They do, because there's actually no Republicans running
They can
as
just
far
They have until July 15th. though.
July 15th. But I've been talking with people.
The elephant trunk can
Nobody's
just-
coming through.
So
can
all
just
the
kiss you right on the nose.
all
and say,
the
Team
Betsy,
Guffey.
Betsy, you guys can all save your nomination, or not nominations, but you can save your endorsements until
keep
after
your
July
pow- keep your
15th,
powder
so
dry.
it's safe.
Come right here. Look at
But
me. Look at me.
tell the
I'm
tell the
looking.
listeners how
We're
they,
making eye contact.
Yeah, we are.
tell everybody how they can donate to your campaign.
They can go to Chris Guffey for City Council, and there's a blue donate button up there, and it'll take you to Anadot, and you can just fill in the information. It's real quick, real simple. Anything you can do we would greatly appreciate it, and I think with your help, we can definitely win this election.
Mike Broyles notes that Lynn Perdue is running. Lynn Perdue is running for re-election in Newcastle, but in an at-large seat. So
At large, so
in
straight
your
ticket voting.
district, it's there is no Republican at this time.
No Republican in my ward at this time.
There you go.
All right. So now, Betsy,
Oh, gosh.
we're going to talk to you about everything you've been doing. We started this group. We start a group chat before every episode, and
Boy,
and,
was this week a mess.
and we start planning it out. Right? You have done so much since we talked to you last.
I
You've
am
been
way
so
too
busy.
Way too busy. Way too overcommitted.
The
I'm
commute to Penn
learning.
State alone has to be a bitch.
I only go a couple times. You know, I went once in the fall for work, and I went once right after the new year, and I'm going to go back 2 weeks for our big speech competition of the year, which is a really cool program with thousands of students and whatever. I'm excited to go back for that, and my department pays for it. But mostly I'm here, and yeah, I've gotten really involved. Jeremiah, you actually last year after before I lost the primary, and especially after you said, don't disappear, stay involved. And a lot of people actually said that to me, but you definitely said it to me. And I've really taken that to heart. And, you know, I was born here. I grew up here. I graduated from Shenandoah, went there K through 12, went to college at Ball State for my bachelor's and master's. And this is the area I love. I could live anywhere. Truly, I have a remote job. I could live in Thailand. And I'm living in East Central Indiana because I love this area, truly, and with all of my heart, and trying to get involved. So I've said yes to everything, and I need to learn to say no because I'm way too overcommitted.
So you've gotten involved with the Lugar Series, which
Yes.
it's a statewide, I assume.
Statewide, yes.
So it's a statewide program, and you got my attention this week. I've followed and watched as you've had the chance to participate in a number of different events. But you guys have an event coming up where Congresswoman Elsie Stefanik is going to be speaking to you, and she's from, I think, New York's 23rd district.
Yes.
Which is the North Country. It's where I'm from in New York State originally. So I've followed her, and you know, when I go with Purdue every year to Washington, and so 2 years ago, I think, I went and I signed into her book in her little congressional office and checked out. You know, I said, "Hey, I'm originally from Messina." She wasn't there. I didn't get to meet her, but I met her staff, and they were very nice. But yeah, I've followed that. You know, since she came to Congress, she was, I think, the youngest woman elected
That's
to
right.
Congress until AOC was elected from
AOC.
New York as well.
Yeah.
She was the youngest member of Congress, or the youngest woman elected from
That's
Congress.
right. And
both
she
in
still
New York
remains the
State.
youngest Republican woman, but yeah,
Yeah.
AOC took the youngest woman ever
Yeah.
position.
And I stopped by her office as well. So I visit all the New York Congresswomen's offices. But it was a lot of fun to check that out. So she's going to come speak. How does the Lugar Series work?
The Lugar Series is a really amazing program. It's in its 29th year. There have been over 500 graduates of the program. Every year they take 20 women from across Indiana from various backgrounds. These are lawyers, district attorneys, professionals in business, communications, people who run banks, just elected officials, of course, and they have to be Republicans. but I would say that
Now,
they're
Republicans in name only or real Republicans? Do you guys have a litmus test?
I don't.
No rhinos?
I think litmus tests are
I mean, if,
crap. So
if Mark Warner was a woman, could he do it?
I don't know, Mark. I've heard you talk trash about Mark, but lovingly. I
not
would
Friday.
say we have a lot of ideological diversity. We have really good discussions in our group, and I would say that people come from all different mindsets in that group, and we have really good discussions, really heartfelt discussions about policy, about law, about how to solve our community's problems. I love it, and it's a safe place to talk about issues. And sometimes I wish in our culture right now we have this tendency to become offended or get mad about people who have different opinions, and instead, what if we came to the table with sincerity and respect and open-mindedness and really engaged with issues? And the Lugar Series provides that, and it's been an awesome experience. I'm extraordinarily grateful.
And you get to do some traveling with that as well?
Yes, we have a big trip coming up to Washington, D.C. in mid-May, and I hear I'm not sure exactly what we get to do. I know we get to go to Mount Vernon. I think we may get to go to the White House. There's a lot. We certainly get to meet with Senator Lugar, obviously the namesake of the program. I know that there are a lot of plans in the works. I'm really excited because I hear it's an amazing trip.
I did get to go to Mount Vernon last week, first time I'd ever been.
Cool.
And it was neat. It's a big farm, and I got there, and I really hadn't done the research. I knew it was, President Washington's place, and didn't really know that much about the history of it. And you go through and you get to see it all, and obviously he's at the time he was like the Steve Jobs of the world, right?
Absolutely,
Or
yeah.
the Bill Gates, one of the wealthiest guys in the world, the Warren Buffett. And you can see why he built his house there, because it just looks over the Potomac, which looks out, and it's in Virginia, but it looks across into Maryland, and phenomenal spot.
Something I learned about the Lugar Series is that would not exist if not for women in Mount Vernon who personally
They
worked
own
together.
it.
Yeah,
In
to
the
save it.
1870s or so, 1840s, it was falling out of the Washington family, and I don't remember the organization's name, but it was a women's group, or is a women's group.
Was it the League of Women Voters?
No, it was not the League of Women Voters, but it was Revolutionary Women or something along that line. But yeah, they
The
saved
American
it from,
War Mothers?
No, it wasn't
Daughters of
that
the
group.
American Revolution.
No,
There we go.
it's
We're just spitballing here. We're trying to think.
It's an organization that I don't know of for other reasons other than for this. But obviously they do very good work, and it's privately held.
How were the workshops that you did? We talked during the Patreon portion that the Leadership Institute gave us a workshop whenever we were at the Libertarian State Convention. So I'm interested to hear who you guys have.
They are really impactful, and I want to say first that the executive director of the series is a woman named Anne Hathaway.
I remember Anne Hathaway's name.
Not Hollywood Anne Hathaway, but political insider.
Yeah, I'm taking a picture of you because Mike Broyles wants to know if you're wearing a muumuu.
I can verify it's not a muumuu, but it might appear like a muumuu from the camera. Anyway,
It's a romper.
So Anne Hathaway is our executive director, and she is a real political mover and shaker in Indianapolis, and originally from Illinois. And she has this incredible career in public service. And going back to, I know she worked for the Department of the Treasury in the 80s. She worked for the George H.W. Bush administration. She was a personal aide to Vice President Quayle and his wife. But she is a, gosh, I can't think of any other word other than badass. She's a really cool lady. She has amazing
Are
stories.
Republicans allowed to use that sort of filthy language?
Grand Elephant, forgive me for that language. She's very cool.
I mean,
And
Vice President Pence may come down on you.
I apologize. But she is our leader, and she, what I really appreciate about Anne is that she really believes in empowering women in public service, because I really think we need more women in public service, and I agree with her on that. And so she's our leader, and I just have to give her a shout out because she is such a good cheerleader. She's also the Republican National Committee chairwoman for Indiana. So she is, she's just really accomplished, and she's our leader. And so we have these workshops. They are hosted every month, or sometimes several times a month. Usually they're at big indie law firms like Ice Miller, Barnes and Thornburg. We had one a few months ago at the Benjamin Harrison Presidential House, which was very cool. We got to do a tour. That was awesome.
That is really cool.
Yeah. We did one, I think last month was at the State House, and we got to meet with a lot of different people. But, we've learned everything about how to get involved, how to get out the vote, how to deal with media. Right now we're learning about public speaking, which I think you guys know. I teach public speaking for Penn State, and my job's online, but I actually teach public speaking, and I haven't been critiqued in my own personal public speaking in literally over a decade. So when
Do you get triggered a lot?
no, I love it. I love it because everybody has the opportunity to get better. So Ellen Dunnigan is the woman who is the communications expert who comes in, and I find myself when she comes in to talk to us, I'm like nodding and nodding and nodding because she's exactly right. We take it from different approaches, but her advice is spot on. And next month I have to give a speech in front of my class, and I'm really excited because I never get critiqued. I'm always the critiquer.
So you could do something like why Republicans act like libertarians on election day, but then they never live up to it after they're elected. Something like that. That'd be a good topic. 22 trillion and counting.
Oh,
the Trump story. Just little
It's
things.
really, it is really nice that the Republicans would put this on and they would invite you to go to it. That way you can get trained up right before you become a libertarian.
Listen, guys,
She just doesn't come here to be abused. I don't know why you're so mean to her. Dakota.
I deeply admire the Libertarian Party of Henry County and your efforts. I am a proud Republican Party official in Henry County. I am a very loyal person in general, so I stick to those allegiances. But
She sounds a lot like she sounds a lot like Nick Saban the last day he was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, and then his plane landed in Alabama.
he didn't have a quarterback, though.
You
Like,
know what?
Wasn't his fault.
Something that I've been talking to Nathan from the Leadership Institute about is just how to be annoyingly persistent without coming off as too annoying. But you know what? I'm ignoring the not coming off as annoying part.
hey, I'm honored of your interest. I'm honored to be thought of, and my big thing is, what can we do together to solve problems in our community? We're all
sure.
in Henry County. I am so excited that there are so many people in Henry County who want to see positive change. And so the way I look at it is we might have different affiliations. We're all going to work together.
In many ways, it's generational, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have parties. You have different ideas and
Yep.
different groups of people that are interested in the future versus the today versus blending the two and doing what's right for everybody.
Absolutely.
So a lot of the issues that we have are not just Henry County specific, but they are demographic specific, and making sure that this place that we all share has the things that matter to us.
Absolutely. And I think we need to set forth a vision for the future of Henry County. I know we have a fairly controversial comprehensive plan, but in general, we need to
There's
realize
really only one paragraaph people fight
that's
over.
true. That's
It's-
true. That's true. There's one.
There's one paragraph, and it's pretty non-committal.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but in general, I'm excited to keep working on that vision and then realize that vision together. So that's why I'm here.
A little bit of cleanup. Mark Sean Orr says it's the Mount Vernon's Ladies Association.
He would know. He is so. He's awesome.
Mark
I'm a
knows
huge
everything
fan.
about history.
Thank you,
I'm
Mark.
100% convinced.
Matt Pierce is warning us that if we keep it up, she may cancel her order. Annoying is what you are, Dakota. Just plain annoying. I do it better than you do. Don't steal my shtick. All right,
We have cookies and tacos.
Speaking about the one paragraph and
Trying to get her in over here.
Oh, we have cookies. What are you talking about?
I've never
Trying to
s-
get her over to the Libertarian.
We have
I've-
tacos.
I've never served tacos at a meeting, but if that's what it takes to get you,
That's what it
Betsy,
takes. We got this.
I will
I am
pick up
a
a taco
loyal-
12 pack.
I'm going to look at the camera as I say I'm a loyal member of the Republican Party, but I support you guys, and I think voters deserve good options. And like I said, I'm interested in working together. So only friendship from me.
All right, back to my segue.
You can keep working on me, though.
Enough
I like
being
your
a
persuasion.
Squirm. Enough making her squirm. It's just unfair.
No, that's all good.
Back to the segue that I was in the middle of before I was rudely interrupted by Chris Guffey on the producer's desk.
Betsy
Don't make
has
me
been-
take that
Betsy's
microphone
been
away.
going down to the State House and testifying.
That's
I've been
right.
there a few times. Yeah.
Testify. What's up?
Somehow related to that one controversial paragraph, right?
Gosh, we just can't let it go in Henry County, can we?
No, we killed the horse, we flogged the horse, then we buried it, then we dug it back up so we could hit it again from the other side.
Hey, but let's be real. Wind's not dead. That's
Oh,
true.
as of now,
it's not dead.
It's not.
It's not. I've heard good people say that. Respectfully, no, it's not. And I can tell you all about it.
I thought it was for sure until just a couple months ago.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So
Let's dig into Senate
tell
Bill.
us about Senate Bill 535.
Okay, so
we kind of learned about this when Representative Saunders was on the show
Right.
before the session started, and he said that the think Senator Boots from the Crawfordsville area had introduced. Is that right?
It is Senator Boots, yes. I'm not sure of his geography, but
okay.
yes.
We'll guess that it's Montgomery County. I don't know for certain, but we'll say that.
Montgomery County.
You're just mad at every county, Dakota. Damn you, Porter County.
I have no problem with the fine people of Porter County.
Anyway, so Representative Saunders was on and said that Senator Boots was introducing this, and it was to affect home rule laws.
Yes.
And he thought that it had a very good chance of passing because Farm Bureau was endorsing it.
Yes.
Tell us what your involvement's been, how you see it, and how the legislative process has gone.
So to review what SB 535 is, essentially it repeals. I mean, a lot of symbols here. Municipality's ability to exercise powers from outside of its jurisdiction. So essentially, Newcastle can't regulate outside of its jurisdiction, and there's a really good philosophical debate here about. If I don't elect somebody, if I don't vote for somebody, how do they get to make decisions for me? And there's a really good debate there, right? But we have 12 municipalities in our county that have chosen to enact the home rule law. They've passed these ordinances in good faith, and now the state is trying to take them away. And so that's at the heart of the debate of SB 535.
So that was my main question with this Senate bill was we have all of these. We have all these ordinances and things that have been passed by the municipalities, specifically dealing with industrial wind turbines.
Right.
And my big question was, are all of those null and void if this passes?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
So there's talk that Henry County's ordinances, or any community, we'll say not Henry County because they're not using specifics, but any community that already has an ordinance in place would be grandfathered in under the existing law, but going forward, the hope is that would, it would affect that.
Well, yes, yeah, you've said it very well. And right now, Henry County and other counties are saying, hey, for those of us who have passed these ordinances in good faith, may we be grandfathered in? And then moving forward, it's really a debate between stakeholders right now, and it is active right now at the State House. And I've had a lot of phone calls in the last week with legislative assistants and conversations down at the State House with different elected officials. And I understand there are multiple parties in this that have a vested interest in the outcome, but for our own sake, we're hoping at a minimum that with Henry County we would be grandfathered in because we've passed these in good faith.
What we've seen is we almost have two different groups that are asserting authority.
Yes.
You have area planning commissions or whatever
and counties, commissioners
or county planning commissions that have in unincorporated areas believe that they have through state law the ability to regulate or to not regulate these areas.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Betsy, but the current legislation says that it's only in certain instances.
Yes, it is a confusingly written piece of legislation. So
the way that I read it, it seemed like it was
law.
It seemed like they
more
could
laws,
only make laws whenever it comes to the health and safety of citizens.
Yes, and certainly the 12 municipalities in our county that have passed this have argued it under health and safety. And
as these have passed without much objection in the towns.
Yes.
The towns have mostly been unanimous votes as it's gone through Moreland, Middletown, each community, Sulphur Springs.
Iceland doesn't have one.
It's gone through these, and most of the communities that are in the potential northern project siting have passed this.
West Central to North, yes.
Yeah. The areas that you're expecting to have have development.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, that's right. And Middletown was the last one. I believe that was passed mid-February. The first hearing on that was January 8th because I presented on it to Middletown, and they passed it unanimously 5-0.
How did you get involved in going to the State House and speaking to legislators about Senate Bill 535? And how did you get roped into it?
It's a good question.
Did the legislators call you and say, hey, Betsy, we'd love to hear
no,
from
they
you?
didn't. So we have a lot of people in our county who have been very active in addressing the wind projects that are possibly coming in, and I've been kept informed, and I felt the need to go, and I went with a group of folks from Henry County, including newly elected Commissioner Ed Tarantino, newly elected County Council member Kenan Gray, other active community members, Melissa Elmore, Bobby Plummer, There have been others as well, but those were the most recent that were just spoke this past week at the State House.
Yeah, and so the nice thing about our state government is you can actually watch all of that. Right?
It's awesome. Yeah, they do a really good job.
They do a great job of making it available to see, so you don't have to schlep down to the council. So you can go fire it up at your phone if you're sitting at the desk. Or
Did you
can
guys watch it?
later. I watched a portion of
Yeah.
when it was going through the Senate between the first and second readings.
Yeah.
I watched that testimony that day, and I think it passed. I think there was one dissenting vote out of that one, if I remember right.
We were pretty disappointed because, yeah, we went down to testify the first day. This was, I think, back in January.
This was I'll rephrase. You guys went down to testify twice.
Yes.
Early on, and I
Yes.
watched the second.
And that was
of
in the
those.
Senate. Now we're in the House.
Yes.
Right?
So yeah, I watched the second of the Senate side.
Okay. Yeah, and we only were allowed a few people to testify because a lot of us had spoken the week before, and I get that.
Yeah.
And we thought that a lot of the legislators on that committee, the senators, were amenable to our cause, and then they said, well, we want to see
We don't
full
want to kill
debate.
it now, so we want to keep
Yeah,
going.
so it went forward.
It's alive until it's not.
So
Yeah.
explain to me why a town government should have the authority to legislate outside of its legal boundaries.
Hey, it's a really fair question, and I would posit it with this. Should towns be able to grow? And right now, our WEX ordinance is structured that you can build 500-foot turbines within a half mile of your town. And the way I look at this as a young person in Henry County, and something I'm excited about, I've talked to you guys about this before, is economic development. And I see us sitting on the I-70 corridor outside of Indianapolis. I see us sitting on the I-69 corridor northeast of Indianapolis. And we look at what is happening in the counties nearby. We see Hancock County, we see Madison County, we see Hamilton County that are growing exponentially because of their proximity to our capital city. And if we now take on wind and we allow these structures to be built outside of our towns, which could grow very soon if we just sit tight and wait.
You're severely limiting development area.
Absolutely. And that deeply concerns me. And that really is my concern is impact on economic development. How is this going to moving forward? How does this impact us?
So that's not really the market making that decision, though. That's you using the ability of the town. You're specifically pulling a lever. It's not market driven. You're making the decision that okay, we're going to pull the lever, and the town's going to say no.
You could
because we
argue it
want to
that
do
way.
this differently. Yeah.
I mean, you could argue it that way. At the same time, it's, I would say the vast majority of people in our county, if you're looking at it with an unbiased perspective, the vast majority of Henry County citizens are against this. And I realize there are 100 or so families who've signed up for this, good people on that list, mutual friends we have. I love them. I disagree with them on this specific issue. And for them to impact the other 49,000, I don't know. I mean, the last election really spoke, I think, to what the county's wishes. We had the highest turnout in the state
61%.
for not only the general, but the primary. And that means, I mean, it's not a coincidence. It means people really care about this issue. We are simply too populated as a county, 126 people per square mile for this to work successfully.
It would be the most populated county in the state to have industrial wind development.
Absolutely. And so under those grounds, economic development, safety, just being too populated, I am strongly opposed. I think if you have a county of 5 or 10,000 and they say, we're excited about this, let's do it, God bless you, go forward, do it as a community. But for us, these are not circumstances for success. And so that's why I'm opposed after a lot of study on the issue.
John Montgomery's in the chat, and he says he owns 82 acres on I-70, and we will not build turbines. Come develop all you want down there.
Hey, I'm excited to see the plans he has in the works.
Yeah, John's doing great work.
So
Yeah.
the
And he
economic
makes a good steak.
That's right.
Yeah.
sure he does.
No complaints from us.
No.
Voted number 1 in Henry County for the last 5 years.
We're still waiting on the Ball Saga Liberty sandwich.
But the economic development side,
Yeah.
that I think I'm going to give you credit here, but I'm pretty sure that that's the first argument against Senate Bill 535 that I've actually really thought about. That makes a really good case in my mind against this bill.
Yeah. I honestly and truly, I think if we sit back and exact our vision and plan for the future, anticipating that Indianapolis is growing our way, we can make magical things happen without raising taxes, without doing things to impede our citizens. But we're a county in debt, and there are issues there. but we need to be responsible. We need to tighten the purse strings, and we need to plan for future economic development. And this does the exact opposite.
So,
So-
let's play how a bill becomes a law. Without the school of this is not the School of Rock.
Yeah.
It's not
Wait.
School of Rock.
Oh no, that's the Jack
That's
Black
Jack
movie.
Black.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse
Yeah, yeah.
Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock music.
I'm just a bill, yeah.
Yes. So we and not the
I'm
SNL
an
version.
executive order, and I pretty much just happened.
Yeah. So yeah, well, Governor Holcomb actually has to sign it or not sign it, and then it becomes law with them writing it again, or he vetoes it, whatever.
If he
So-
doesn't sign it, then
Then it passes as well. It can sit on your desk for 10
Yeah.
days, and it passes. You have to actually veto to send it back to the
Correct.
legislature. So it's passed out of one chamber already.
That's right. It's
out
passed
of
out of the Senate.
and now
it's
it's
sitting
in
in
the
the
House.
in the House Select Committee for Government Reduction. We are hoping that they are hearing us, the folks on that committee, and we think that there's mutual compromise here. Compromise seemed to be the word of the day last Tuesday when we were down at the State House, and I think compromise is good, and I think we're really hoping that.
Does that mean like 480-foot tall wind turbines? What's compromise? mean? This
Compromise
feels
means,
binary.
compromise means, hey, Indiana, you had this law in the books. Municipalities passed this law in good faith. They have their ordinances, allow them to keep them, that you allowed them previously, and then moving forward, if you're making a change, fine. But let's be fair to the municipalities who made these decisions lawfully.
So all this being said, two things. First thing is that I'm still not convinced that I want Darren Jacobs to have the power to tell me what I can do with my land, even though I live outside of Spiceland.
Sure.
I should read it into the record that Darren is the administrator. He doesn't have a vote at all in that.
I just had to say that to
he's
mess with
staff.
Darren. We hadn't had Darren in this episode yet.
Fair
so
enough.
He had to be mentioned. Second thing is what do you think the future holds for this?
That is a $1 million question, and I oscillate back and forth on what the future is. I would encourage my friends who are listening, make your feelings known to our elected officials down at the State House. I know, Tom Saunders is working and talking to folks, and I would say talk to your senators as well, whether that's Gene Lysing or Mike Gaskell. It's out of their chamber, but hey,
They may be in a conference committee. If it passes, there's going to
Right.
be a conference committee, and they may be the one sitting there.
Yeah, keep up your discussion wherever you feel about this issue, and I really in my heart hope that oh gosh, we're taking a picture. I hope that the committee decides that give us what we have already passed lawfully, and then moving forward, if there's a debate, that's fine, but don't take away something that we've already done. That
So-
doesn't seem logical to me.
My prediction
fair.
is that it will come through and it's going to pass, and the governor will sign it, and then development will attempt to happen, and then the communities will cite, and then that's going to lead to an injunction, and you're going to end up in court. I think this is heading to a court battle. I don't know that we're going to see this solved at the county level or legislatively. I think it's going to end up in a court.
Wind's not dead.
Yeah, I think at this point you're probably looking at ending up in a court.
Yeah,
It will
so-
probably be dead after 2022, especially if Trump is elected again.
2020.
2022, because that is when the federal subsidy runs out
yeah,
on
yeah.
wind
Right,
energy.
right,
And then it's just not going to be profitable, and it's never going to make sense for it to be developed because they don't make any money.
Yeah, if it can't stand on its own without tax dollars.
See,
And-
that's been my whole argument the whole time with the wind debate is let the market work with them.
Yes.
If we would open up the market to innovation, then it would stifle a lot of it would encourage a lot of competition between wind companies. They would be looking for better ways to develop their energy producing products. We've seen that with solar as the federal government and the state governments have backed off more and more. Solar panels have become way cheaper. And the solar industry in Indiana is one of the fastest growing industries across the state. So it's getting government out of things always leads to more innovation because it's not being artificially funded.
I certainly agree with that.
So
Yeah, I'm very sure that we're not going to see a county subsidy. I don't think there will be an abatement. The votes were never there
No,
for an
never.
abatement. That's not going to
Never,
happen.
ever, ever.
And I still am very skeptical that development would actually happen without one.
Calpine has said they will move forward without an abatement. So.
But if you're negotiating, you know what I mean? I still think they come to the table and ask for it, and then make a decision later.
Probably.
But if you're negotiating, you're not going to say, well, the hell with it, I'm going to walk away now. If you're a corporation, you're still going to ask for that regardless.
Sure. Yeah, they need to ask. I mean, it makes no sense not to ask. You know what's funny with SB 535, when it was first brought to I forget the committee it was assigned to in the Senate, but Senator Booth said, this is not a bill about wind. I mean, he was very clear about that. And then when we got to the State House, to the House Select Committee on Government Reduction last Tuesday morning.
You do potentially open a slippery slope to other things.
Sure. There's a lot in that bill.
It's very, obviously, from Henry County, people care about it through the wind lens.
Yes.
But it's like anything else. There are a number of unintended consequences that the knife can cut the other way, and you have to be damn careful.
Yeah. Yes, and what I found funny was that he has said repeatedly, this is not about wind, and I don't think wind is mentioned in the bill. But I'll be darned, we were at the State House last week, and there was a big lobbyist for wind in general in the state of Indiana. There were attorneys for Apex and Calpine there who spoke very eloquently. For not being a bill about wind, that can
$500 an hour will buy you some beautiful
well,
words.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were eloquent. I'd like to think we matched them, and I actually heard some feedback from elected officials that we were maybe more compelling in some ways. I hope, God willing. But
Sounds like there's a lot of really good discussion happening around it.
there is, and I mean there are legitimate philosophical debates about, do you get to make decisions outside of your jurisdiction? And I think that has to be recognized that. Hey, there's a good debate there. But then again, I vote for one legislator, but 100 legislators in the House make decisions for me. Like what?
It's
The city of Newcastle decides what I pay for water rates, and I'm underrepresented on the council. I have exactly 0 council people.
Sure. That
living
happens
in
all
the
the time
county.
in democracy, and I'm not
Right.
saying it's perfect, but that happens constantly. So
Just for a little longer, Jeremiah. I've got plans.
I still won't live in a district, just like the mayor. All right, so
let's
let's put a pin in the Senate.
before we talk about America's Future Foundation.
yes.
There's some other things since we've been talking about your involvement in the State House and in government and things. You informed us today that you are on the Henry County Jail Committee as well.
Yes. I have not been to a meeting in the last month because they keep scheduling them when I have things like the Lugar Series, which I committed to previously, and obviously I'm really excited about. But right now, one of the, outside of wind, I would say the biggest issue facing our county is our jail situation. You guys have spoken very well to this in, many, many episodes. But essentially, we have a lot of overcrowding at our county jail. It wasn't built to house as many people as it has right now. And a lot of that is because of the state housing more people here than they should be. So we have some really serious discussions about what the future of incarcerating people in Henry County looks like. And so there's the overarching committee. I specifically am on the master plan committee for that. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. we have a we have a tour of the Henry County Jail and some sort of educational session. It's supposed to go till 3 in the afternoon. I'm not really sure why 3 in the afternoon. That seems like a long day, but I'll be there. So we're learning more about this.
Sounds like they're sending you to prison, Betsy.
I'd like to say I'm looking forward to it, but no, I look forward to, for us to make logical decisions, I think we need to see what the inside of the jail looks like. And so we have to face facts. I know it's bad in there.
Have you toured it? You've toured it?
No, I haven't
Your first
actually.
time.
I've talked about it for a long time. I've never done it. Tomorrow's the day. So, and I think that's the day for a lot of us. So we're going to learn more about what it looks like. The sheriff and major sheriff and major both have worked to educate a lot of us on the situation, but we need to learn more. And this really is a massive issue for Henry County. So we're in the middle of it right now, just educating ourselves and trying to understand. We don't want to build a $20 million facility. We don't have the money for it. We're already in debt. Can we combine a facility regionally with another county? Those
There's been
discussions are
talk
underway.
with Madison County.
Yes. It sounds like we missed out talks with Delaware County, which is really disappointing, and I know they're moving forward. But, at least in my mind, how do we do this efficiently and effectively for the taxpayer?
State's got to stop sending so darn many people to the
Well, yeah,
to
that's
the
the
jail
first
to
problem.
have to be in
Yeah.
there, right?
But
Now, real quick, when was the last meeting for that? Because I went to February's meeting, but I didn't get the info on March's meeting.
$1 million question. They keep scheduling them when I am tied up with other things that I've committed to months in advance, and I keep saying, I'm so sorry. So I sound like a really ineffective committee member right now, but I'll be there tomorrow morning.
Trust me, it happens.
And then, oh crap.
So you
Yeah.
are
You
a
got
part of the America's Future Foundation.
That's right. Yeah, our
which
Indianapolis chapter.
A lot of our common friends are involved in this.
Yeah, you mentioned Tim McGuire
Tim
earlier. Danny Lundy, who I think won not one but 2 awards this weekend.
He
up in
did.
Fort
He did
Wayne.
win 2 awards.
in Morgan County.
Yeah, those are both great guys, and they're
We got
both,
the best from Morgan.
The lovely Sarah Morrell. I
Oh, is
stole
she
her
from
away
there?
from Danny. Yeah, absolutely. She's from Mooresville.
Cool.
She was the chairperson in Morgan County
Oh my
before
gosh.
Danny was.
That's really cool. Yeah, so they both, I serve on the AFF Indianapolis board with them, along with Chloe Anagnos and other folks. Chloe's our fearless leader. She does a phenomenal job. And so the AFF, America's Future Foundation, we're really, it's a nonpartisan group. We have a lot of libertarians. We have a lot of conservatives and Republicans. We also have liberals who come out to our events who are interested in what we're talking about. We have really good discussions about free market solutions and how we can solve our own problems in our communities, not with the government intervention, but on our own. And so I'm really excited to be involved with that because I think we do really good work.
So you guys are hosting an event called Axe the Tax.
That's right.
It is at Bad Axe Throwing
That's
in
right.
Indianapolis. Chase Payton and I, which I don't even know if Chase Payton is still alive. I haven't talked to him since.
I tried to reach out over the weekend. I think he's working 27 hours a day now.
Yeah.
We tried to talk him out of it, but here he is.
I miss Chase. Chase
Yeah.
is my buddy.
He got suspended. Too many F words.
Chase is the reason. If you look on the table in the live feed, there's a picture of Chase,
With
Dakota,
some,
and
with
myself.
some Joseph Stalin type Photoshop. Yeah.
That was
but
his going away gift.
Jason has been. I've reached out to him about trying to go to Bad Axe Throwing. He's
You guys
reached
should
out
definitely
to me.
come.
We haven't been able to make it. Either one of us has been busy each time, but of course it's always been times where like everyone else is busy. Like my wife's away, his girlfriend's away, and we hit each other up on Friday night at 7:00.
You wanna
right?
go?
Yeah, and it just hasn't worked out. But maybe Bad Axe Throwing hosting Axe the Tax on Monday, April 15th is finally my chance to go.
Yeah, you should definitely go, and tickets are going fast, so I would get on the AFF page and order them quickly. It's going to be a great event.
Have you thrown in the axes?
I've never done it. I really want to. I think I'd be good at it because I'm good at throwing things, but I have never done it before.
I'm not very good at throwing things.
He is the world's worst dart player.
Really?
It's horrifying.
I don't have
In
the
fact,
greatest.
if we go together, I'm going to have to stand 40 feet behind you when you throw an axe because it could be. Actually, I don't want to stand directly behind you either because that could hurt too.
I have fantastic hand-eye coordination too. Just
Video
from
games.
years of playing video
Yeah.
games.
It helps.
But I don't know. I played outfield and short base whenever I played baseball.
Short base.
Short base?
Or no,
Short
Is that,
sorry,
is that T-ball?
shortstop.
Is that a T-ball position?
Sorry,
So I've got like
short base.
drumming. I played drums all through fifth
Yeah.
grade to senior year at Shenandoah. I was drum major. And I've got softball and throwing shot and disc all the way from middle school to high school. So I'm hoping that lends itself well to throwing the axe and not.
Betsy and I had a very similar high
Yeah.
school career.
I don't want to hurt anyone with those axes. They allow you to drink. I cannot believe they let you drink and throw axes.
They're, like,
but I'm
closed
honestly excited for
Unless
it.
the only thing that would be bad is if you went like that and you
This is
accidentally let
radio.
it slip out of your hand.
Over the head. That's
Yeah.
why I said I don't want to be 40 feet behind you.
Have you
think
guys
it'd be fine.
seen? Speaking of throwing axes, have you guys seen the commercial that Jason Momoa did when he throws his axe for that company?
Mm-mm.
That's the most manly I've ever seen something.
He's awesome. I wish he were still on Game of Thrones.
Like he throws an axe, he's drinking a beer, and he's like, "Wrap it up, boys. That's the commercial." I'm like, "Yes, it is, sir."
All right. So that's going to be a fun event.
So how do you become more involved inside America's Future Foundation?
You should definitely reach out to me. You could reach out to Chloe, Tim McGuire, Danny Lundy, Kyle Pierce. There's a lot of people on the board who would love to get you involved. We have events almost every month, if not every other month, open to everybody. This is a nonpartisan group. There's a lot of really great events on service, on professionalism. We had a headshots and happy hour event last month at Liberty Street in Indianapolis. basically people came and got professional headshots, got a free drink, got to workshop their resumes. Really good stuff. We don't check, party affiliation at the door. We have really good discussions. Back in October, we had a panel on the opioid epidemic and how to solve that through free market solutions. And actually, something I'm really excited about this summer is we're going to have an event with Eva Moses Core. Are you guys familiar with who she is?
No.
Yes, I am. Absolutely. I love her.
Yes.
Seriously.
Okay.
She's
So,
aggressively agreeing.
well, she's amazing, right? So that's
Yeah.
why you're reacting so strongly.
Yeah, I've seen her speak twice.
I've never gotten to see her speak, but I cannot wait. And so to fill you guys in, so she is a Holocaust survivor.
Yes, okay, I'm with you now.
You just Google her.
Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, she survived Auschwitz.
Oh, yes, I saw
She's
her
from
at the Miniatrista
she lives-
Center.
Yeah,
She lives at Terre Haute.
She's like this amazing woman. She is one of the most decorated Hoosiers ever with regards to civilian awards. And her big thing is, so she survived with her twin sister so many horrible experiences at Auschwitz with, she was experimented on by like the most evil Nazi doctor.
As twins, they do that.
Yeah.
They did that.
Yeah,
too.
Dr. Joseph Mengele.
Mengele.
Yeah, Mengele. Sorry, I'm not a German speaker.
You're
but-
just like me, Betsy.
I can do Spanish, not German. But anyway, so she survived all this. She's like in her 80s now, and her big thing is forgiveness. And the Nazis took her parents from her. They took her older siblings. They experimented on her and her twin sister. I mean, just truly evil behavior. And somehow she has found it in her heart to forgive. And I think that is amazing. I don't know that I could do that. I think I would be a bitter and broken person if that were my life. But somehow she has become stronger from it. And so we are hoping to facilitate this event, have a screening of her documentary that came out last year, and also have her there. So we're very excited about that possibility.
Very good. A couple other items that we wanted to talk about with you. You are the 14th hat you're trying to wear.
Yes.
Middletown,
Yes.
your hometown or
Yes.
your home proximity town,
Yes.
is starting a chamber of commerce, and you're involved with that.
That's right. Yeah, we have. There's a lot of discussion around the county about like how do we become stronger? How do we get in the right direction? How do we develop a mutual vision? And so when I ran for county council last year, I had some really good discussions with folks I went to high school with who are now business owners and professionals, and just these incredibly impressive folks that I'm really proud of. And they grew up and they've done really good things with their lives. And so we've had these really good lunches and mutual discussions about how do we get Middletown on the right track. Henry County too, but specifically Middletown. And so our thought is Middletown's Chamber of Commerce died out a few decades ago. That's a really good starting point. And at minimum, it helps the
sure.
business community
The
be
existing
supported.
businesses, right?
Yes, the businesses that exist. More is coming down the line, but we think this is our first step. And so we've announced ourselves officially to the Middletown Town Council, and we're in the formation stages.
So what does that look like? You guys form a board, and you eventually try to fundraise and get an executive director, or how does that? What's if you're starting that kind of a project? What are you doing?
I think this is going to be a shoestrings type of project. We're not. This is going to. I think one model to really look at is Knightstown. Knightstown has a really successful chamber of commerce. We are looking to sit down with them very soon. Emails are sent out, and I need to really check in about that. But really establishing. I don't believe in just inventing things. I think you don't
find a
reinvent the
model.
wheel. You find the model. Yeah, that's a lot more efficient and effective. And Knightstown is the exact same size as Middletown. So I'm looking to see what they've been up to. But yeah, we want to support our business community in Middletown. We're looking for more development in Middletown with our proximity to the I-69 corridor. Things are exciting. So I'm saying this, we're very much a work in process. This is not something, we're hoping for a harder launch this summer in time for the Middletown Fair. But very, very excited about that and happy to be a member and contributor to that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. So we are getting to that point in the show where we've run out of show notes. So that means it's final thoughts. Real quickly, on the announcement side from here, we do want to welcome the IU basketball fans that have joined us. After the Kent Benson episode, we shared the video into an IU basketball group, and I think we picked up about 700 views since this morning.
Wow.
And a number of likes. So hopefully all of folks are enjoying the show, enjoying the program. We try to talk about sports, we talk about life, we talk about politics, we talk about comedy, talk about whatever the heck's interesting to us.
As the advertisement producer, young Chris, please zoom in on this. the full page ad that we got on the back cover of the 2019 Libertarian Party State Convention, Local Stories, National Impact. And also on tchip.com/BHOL3, there's a sweatshirt and a t-shirt that has that on the back.
The other neat thing today, some breaking news. There's two items we have to cover, Dakota. We had breaking news. We're the first news outlet in the county to report. The state of Indiana community crossings grants have come out, and the city of Newcastle received a little bit over $700,000. The county of Henry County is going to receive about $999,000. And I believe Middletown is going to get close to $250,000 in state matching funds. So big news for all of those communities. It's pothole patching season and paving season. It's upon us, so it's very much needed. It's a matching program from the state. Depending upon the size of community that you have to have a certain amount of dollars to match it. So for a community the size of Newcastle's, it's 1-to-1. So the $700 and some thousand the city was able to come up with, the state matched that money. I think it's a 75-25 program for counties at our size, and I would imagine that Middletown is probably a similar program as well.
Yeah.
We outlined that in the post that we had, but that has gone unbelievable. We appreciate all of the folks that have shared that and helped the reach. When we have news like that and we're able to share it, and you guys put it out, you help the show and help our platform. Facebook works on engagement and shares. So anytime you see news like that, it's always great to leave a comment, say thank you, say, hey, we'd like you to do this differently. Anything along those lines helps the program out, like shares. Obviously, the Patreon thing is great, and we appreciate everybody that helps us there. But even if you can just like the page, share the page, subscribe on YouTube, the more you interact with the comment, the better it does, and the more successful it is.
Word of mouth is
to
the
get it
biggest
out
thing.
for you guys. We record these, and we'd do the same effort and put the same thing into it, whether 2 people watch it or 2,000 people watch it.
Yep.
But it really is rewarding for us when it goes far. So we appreciate it when you guys kick in and help us out. So that's been a fun one today.
Yeah, this has been a great episode.
I think in the last few hours, it's already got about 30 shares. So
That's great.
it's gone far. Yeah. And most of the city officials shared it, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, it's great news. Our roads need work. I live on 950 North. It's gotten a lot of attention lately for it's in bad shape and where I live. So I'm excited.
And
to see.
what's bad about living on a county road that's really bad is that you can hear the cars when they hit the potholes.
Mm-hmm.
Like my road's actually pretty decent, with the exception of right in front of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of potholes there, and they've been patched for years and years and years, so the pavement's just super uneven, and people will be flying, going like 50 miles an hour, and then you hear them. Yeah.
You just start collect hubcaps
Yeah.
in the yard.
There are mufflers and parts in our fields right now. Between 203rd and West on 950 North is bad. I'm excited to see them put this money to good use. So I know that I know the county's working hard. The highway department, they are working.
Yeah.
It's a money game. So we need that money.
It's not the end all be all, but it's a start, right? There were some comments, some snide comments saying, well, it's a drop in the bucket. It's not enough. And, the same people would be mad if they didn't get anything at all, right?
Better than nothing.
If your community got skipped over completely and you got nothing out of it, then that would be
Right.
Well,
you'd have some anger there as well.
there was a lot of conversation last year about was this the grant that we did that inadvertently didn't get applied for in time?
Yes, this
By
is
the mayor's
this is what,
office?
the
Yeah.
city did not get the last 2 cycles. This is the first time the city of Newcastle has received these funds.
Yep.
The coroner from Shelby County, Bradley Wood, is in here, and he says out in California they put grooves in the road to play the William Tell song for the Honda commercial. That is true. I remember that very well.
It didn't work out very well, did
James
it?
Hinchcliffe is my favorite Honda pitchman, but
Those are all potholes now.
yeah, they're just potholes. It's
And some poor town out there is like, need a community crossings grant.
But wasn't it really? I mean, the intentions were really good, but it didn't come out very well. Like the timing of it was kind of screwed up.
the
so
William
they,
Tell song.
Yeah.
It would have made me buy a Honda. That's why Sarah drives it, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's Brad Wood. It's Brad Wood from Farmers Brad's Market. He's Mark's friend.
Different Bradley Wood.
We have 2 Brad Woods that follow us.
Wow.
Damn, we are so complicated. Well, hi to the Brad in Shelby County, too. Here's the coroner. And hi to Chicken Brad.
That is the pinnacle of success,
It
I
is.
think.
when we don't know
We've
all
done
of our
enough.
fans. That's
Nope.
over.
There's no other peak that we can
You've got your
reach.
team of Brad Woods. You're good
We,
to go.
we're full up on Brads. We can't have any more. If you're a Brad, unsubscribe today.
All right.
You owe us an update on Memorial Park, Dakota, and then we're going to
Yes, I
work our way
do.
out.
So I feel bad because Jerry Williams, who has supported the show so often in the past, and she's asked us a few times to come out and live stream the Memorial Park Board meetings because she was recently appointed to the board. Haven't been able to make it the past few times. I had to work last night, and I don't know what these slackers were doing, but I couldn't go out and live stream. But she did give us an update about some of the stuff that they had going on. Kathy Hamilton from the Hope Initiative went out there and gave a presentation about some of the things that they were doing. Ed Tarantino was there at 5:30 because he's the commissioner over the park board. Just real short here, it sounds like they're going to be reopening bids for the Smith Building project instead of accepting the one that came through last time.
They continue to rescope and revise and try to make sure that they're speccing exactly what they need to have or the appropriate things.
Ed will be giving an update on that at the next commissioners meeting, and they are also looking into getting better architectural drawings because apparently the last set that they got was really vague, and they think that could have contributed to the high cost of the bid.
Absolutely. You have to make a lot of assumptions and qualifications, and you just pad your number if you're not specific enough.
So, like I said, Kathy Hamilton from the Hope Initiative came forward, and she was talking about a bunch of stuff, and she talked about the new committees that were being set up in the park and forming the new committees. The committees actually had meetings last night as well, and the park board is giving the three committees $50,000 from the sale of the Memorial Park golf course, and those funds were originally allocated to the doing renovations on the old side of the park, so the old playground area. So these committees are going to make sure that those funds still go to that, and so it's not a big
step
change
for them
in the
because
budget.
There have been volunteers, but they haven't had money allocated or something to work from. So
Right.
Sure.
that'll be good for them to have something to work from. It takes both sides, right? You have to have volunteer workforce. You also have to have shovels and mulch and paint and things for them to work directly with.
The committees last night, I guess, came up with some lists of things that they were hoping to get done in 2019 or 2020 in upcoming months or year. It sounds like there are a lot of people at Memorial Park that have been appointed to these committees, are new to the board, are working directly with the board, that all have the best interest of the park in mind. Is what I'm getting from all of this.
That's really exciting. It's such a great attribute of Henry County that we have it. Let's take advantage and get people involved. I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, very much. All right. Well, thank you, Dakota. We are
You're
now
welcome.
officially at our final thoughts portion of the segment of the program. Betsy, is there anything that we needed to cover that we didn't yet? Are you raising money for a future election yet, or how's this? How do we get in line to be on the Betsy Mills for
Any
something
exploratory
committee?
committees open?
Betsy Mills for dog catcher 2020.
Oh, look at you growing government. We don't have a dog catcher. We don't need a dog catcher, Betsy.
Okay,
You're just going to
so-
raise my taxes to pay for your cush job to be dog catcher.
Went wrong there. So the honest truth is, I am not quite sure. I intend to run in 2020. For what? $1 million question. I'll look at council. I'll look at other options. I live in the northern district, so I can't run for commissioner. I'll just have to see what's out there, and I'll talk to my advisors and interested parties. But I definitely will run again. I'm excited to run. It's exciting to not be a candidate right now.
You
but
could
I
run for Congress. We haven't really seen our congressperson very much. He visits, but only at like meetings.
no comment.
Amongst that'd be one that'd be fun.
I'm way
Take
too.
on the vice president's brother.
I'm excited to get involved and represent the county and wherever. So we'll see where opportunity leads. Two things I did want to highlight. So I've obviously talked a lot about the Lugar Series. This is open to Republican women throughout the state of Indiana. I am only the third woman from Henry County in 29 years to represent the county. So if you are from Henry, I mean, you don't have to be from Henry County, but if you're interested in learning more, please let me know. I would love to get you information. This is such a great program. I would also say that next Friday, April 5th, is, you mentioned Congresswoman Stefanik's coming in, and she is doing a lot to bring more women, Republican women, into Congress and into Republican politics in general. Which
She has a podcast.
does she? Oh
The
my
She
gosh.
Said podcast.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have to check that out. But anyway, we are selling tickets to that. I'm required to sell a few tickets. If you would like a ticket to that luncheon, which I think is going to be phenomenal, it's to my table. It's going to be awesome. Hang out with me and my mom and friends and folks from the county. Please let me know. I'm accessible on Facebook, Gmail.
Buy Betsy's tickets. Dang it.
BetsyMills@gmail.com. Yeah, and also I just want to get a good group there. I think it's going to be an awesome event. So and
Where
just-
is that event?
it's at the Indiana Roof Ballroom from
Ooh, very fancy.
11:30. Is it? I've never been.
You never been?
No.
Man, it's plush.
Cool. I'm
It's
looking
very
forward to that.
Republican. You'll feel
Is
comfortable.
so it's 11:30 to 1
There's
next
a great
Friday.
big wall.
Well,
Oh, the only Mexicans are serving you. This would be funny.
oh no. No. Oh gosh.
Oh man.
Oh, you're going to get all of us in so much trouble. I have to opt out of that one.
She didn't even laugh.
Oh man.
It's okay.
But
You can laugh when the camera's off. We won't tell.
anyway, but this is going to
I'm sure they're all documented and they've passed all. They could probably work for Trump. I mean,
Well,
it's-
you know.
they're very much.
That's the
okay.
type of immigration that Trump is in favor of. He
Legal.
just says we want it legal.
we are looking forward to an awesome event next Friday.
Listen, if you have trouble
I don't want to
selling,
speculate on the nationality of the servers involved.
if you have any trouble selling the tickets, then let me know, and I will hook you up with Nathan from the Leadership Institute, and he'll teach you how to be annoyingly persistent.
Can I
Awesome.
count on you to come to this?
That's
Yeah.
good phrasing.
It is.
Make it direct.
All right, very good. Well, thank you, Betsy.
Thank you for
Hopefully,
having
we
me.
didn't cost anybody any jobs.
I don't think so. No, this has been a blast. I hope I don't get in trouble with anybody, but I've had a really good time. So it's a pleasure to come on here.
We like to play with the electric fence, but it usually doesn't kill anybody. It just knocks you on your knees a couple of times. Dakota.
Honestly, I was planning on making the Memorial Park section my final thoughts, but since we already covered that, then I'll make my final thoughts section. I want to say thank you again to everybody in the leadership of the Libertarian Party of Henry County for bestowing upon us the honor of the Bill Bean County Affiliate of the Year award. That is a big deal to me. Like I told Betsy before the show started that I won an award last year. Personally, I did, but having the county win the award is a much bigger deal. And also want to thank Christy Avery again for putting on a great convention. We had a great time this weekend.
Oh,
And
Christy. Yeah.
yeah, and a shout out to Brent Terhune. He was great live. He was absolutely hilarious in person and at the Fort Wayne Comedy Club. He was great. The servers were great. Place was clean. So make sure you go check that out if you get the chance.
Producer Chris, we skipped over you. That's my fault.
You always do. This is how this works. I've actually got two quick updates. So the Hoosiers are playing the Wichita State Shockers.
We cheetah.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. They are currently down by 2 with 7:21 in the second to go. So I guess we're pulling for the IU win, boys. Then also another big news.
Spoiler up.
Conor McGregor
Quitter.
Retired.
announces his retirement.
I saw some
That
stuff.
whiskey is doing so good. He's like, I ain't got to punch people in the face no more.
Did you guys watch Jimmy Fallon last night?
No.
That was my sister. My sister lives in New York City. She actually works for a company in Middletown, Fabicab, which is awesome. But my sister was in that taping.
Really?
She was when he was on Jimmy Fallon last night. He was talking about looking forward to this fight in July, like his upcoming fight. And then I got a push alert at literally 2 a.m. that was like, Conor McGregor retires. It was 2 hours after Jimmy Fallon retires
Wow.
because of domestic violence.
I was going to say, there was a story that came out
Yeah.
of Ireland today.
Yeah, I guess. But my sister was at the taping anyway.
Yeah.
He said, "Yep,
broke
I'm out."
somebody's phone. Yeah. He took it and just went, fuck this phone.
Oh, Chase's ghost lives.
Ah, man.
I gotta do it. Brantley asked.
And see, he yelled it into the mic too, and that's the mic that doesn't have a limiter, so it's just gonna be
It's just gonna blow somebody
loud.
up. That's just sad.
You're welcome.
All right, that's enough of that. I want to say thank you to everybody that listens. Do us all a solid. Share the show, like the show on Facebook. Email us, Jeremiah at bosshogliberty.com or Dakota at bosshogliberty.com. Let us know what you think, what you like, what you don't like. If you want more of Betsy, let us know. If you want more of Chase,
There's a
we gotta
survey
find him a
link
different
on the
job.
Facebook page as well.
There's a survey to fill out. Give us your feedback. Rate the show on iTunes. I don't promote this enough, but we can actually run up the flagpole poll in iTunes if we rate and get comments and do all that stuff. We really don't push that very much, but we should. So if you guys are listening at this point in the show, you're obviously you love us, right? So jump in there and give us 5 stars. 5 stars, please, just like your Uber driver asks. Unlike my mom, who gave me 4 stars, and I had to go back and say, "Mom, what the hell did I do wrong? It's 5 stars only around here."
She was our only 4-star review.
Oh my
the rest
gosh.
were 5
Yes,
stars.
she's
harsh.
She is the French judge.
Wow.
Next week we are dark. It's the first time we've had no show in ages. But
Since last fall.
yeah, we can't get the schedules together. We've got a lot of moving parts around here. So I guess next week is spring break for us. We will be back on April 11th. So that's the next
We'll be
one.
back on April 11th, hopefully with Mark Brim,
Potentially.
as long as his boss says it's okay, a.k.a. his wife.
Mark was supposed to be with us tonight, but he knows we always record on Thursdays, except when we don't, and he's not available.
Can I shame Mark really quick?
Go for it.
Okay, so here's the deal, Mark Brim. You said that you thought it was Thursday, so I was like, oh no, did I just by default say Thursday in my message and reaching out to someone? March 18th at 11:25 a.m. Dakota Davis sent a message to Mark Brim on Facebook Messenger. Would he be interested in coming on BHOL next Tuesday, the 26th? Mark. And then he said, "Can I wear something skimpy?" I said, "Of course, it's a safe space." Then he sent me a picture of himself, and he said, "I'll ask my boss." And then at March 19th at 8:55 a.m., he said, "Boss said it's okay. See you on the 26th."
Sad. That's the way life goes.
Shame.
It's all right.
Shame. Shame.
We need a bell. We need a shame bell. Yes.
All right.
Betsy's our bell. You have to come every Thursday now. Sorry.
I'm in.
Until
No
next
problem.
week, we will see you guys. Or until the next show, not next week. But we'll see you later.
April 11th.
Take care.